Good morning. Well, afternoon from, yeah, it's 1:10, but whatever. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happens when the dreaded, Walmart.com receipt comes up. And encourage you that it doesn't matter in any way whatsoever, even with particularly irate buyers, as long as you know how to properly get a case opened and close it in your favor. Okay? So, this is the item that produced the dreaded scenario. It's this Mainstays gray stripe quilt. It's got a picture of a bed, another picture of the same bed, two more pictures of the pillows on the bed, and a third picture of the bed. All right, okay. You go down, and it lists three separate sizes for this bed, or this quilt. So, does a quilt include pillows? It has two pictures of the pillows for some reason. And it has three possible sizes that this listing may come in. Okay. So what is this item? I don't think there's really a good way to know. Obviously, it's not a very good listing. I don't like bed things. I try and get rid of all the bed things, but I don't always get them. Apparently, I haven't searched for the word quilt to delete it. Well, actually I did because this listing is dead now. But that's not the point. So this is the listing that started everything, okay? So first off, I get a message from the buyer. What size is the quilt? Pretty understandable considering, there's three separate sizes. You know what I did to that? I just went like this. I read it and I was like, Control W. All right, next message. Because I don't care. I'm not trying to do work to make things sell. I'm just trying to identify the things that make sales without extra work and then delete everything else, right? So, okay. Apparently they bought it after I didn't tell them what size it was. That seems like an odd decision. I paid $35 for a quilt. Okay, cool. And so when I went to place this order, it's all actually out of stock. And the only thing available on the listing, because it's a variation. Oh, let's actually see if I can find what I sent. That would be helpful to you guys. Walmart. Here we go. Oh, look. Is the quilt back? Oh, hey, look. So when I went to order this, standard sham was the only thing available. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to send them that. They're going to do a return case. I'm going to pay for it and give them a full refund. It's going to be great. Because you can't say that you ran out of an item on eBay. If you cancel an item for being out of stock, that is grounds to eventually terminate your account. So the way most people get around that is by lying and claiming the buyer canceled. eBay can look at your account, and if there aren't messages from the buyer saying that they canceled, it is within their abilities to switch all of those into you ran out of stock cancellations and put your account in jeopardy. Never use that option. They actually have no punishment for sending the wrong item as long as you honor the return case and do it promptly, right? Which is kind of funny to me. Like, I feel like it's less convenience to the buyer to just be like, hey, I don't have the item, and you just, within like 30 minutes or an hour of them ordering, or even maybe even a day, you tell them that. That's all right, It kind of sucks when it's a week later, but anyway, so I sent them this, right? All right, so then they're like, asked me this, and notice how often they're messaging me. I don't like buyers who message me a lot. They messaged me. If you message me twice, you could have found the product cheaper in that same amount of time. Like, you could have just looked at a different eBay listing. I don't sell the cheapest things of these products on eBay. You could have looked at Walmart. There's so many other places you could have gone, and you're wasting your time messaging a guy who's not even going to respond to you. It's pretty silly. Obviously, in this time, I did respond because if there is a sale for the message, then I'll always respond. Like, you have to be prompt if there's actually been a sale. But if there's not been a sale, it doesn't really matter. So, this is how they responded. At that point, I think I responded to it because I could tell that the wrong item was sent, right? And so I told them, hey, please open a return case as soon as you get this, and I'll close it by giving you a full refund, and then I'll send you a shipping label to return it, right? And in this scenario, because this is only a $35 sale, oh, I can't show you all this stuff, can I? Did I show you any addresses? Oh, I think I can show you their username. I don't think that matters. Cool. Yeah, I haven't showed you an address. Okay, cool, we're good. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So yeah, because this is only $35, if this buyer was like, if they listened to me and they didn't seem entitled, I would have just refunded them and let them keep the thing and not even worried about the return. But I don't have any tolerance for when buyers come off as like they deserve this and there's like this kind of fuck you vibe. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go out of my way for somebody who gives me that vibe. Especially when I don't need to, right? And so I told this person, I messaged them, and I was like, open a return case, I will refund you, right? So instead of opening a return case, they open an item not received case, which basically screwed them. Because if an item not received case isn't, oh, I received the incorrect item, it means I got nothing. So all you need in order to close an item received case is a tracking number that shows delivery to that address. If you have that, you win. You call eBay and they're like, oh, cool, click the button, case closed in your favor. And now this part is the really funny part. Because this person did this, any feedback that he leaves will not affect me and will be removed. So it won't, he literally can do nothing to me at this point, right? Which is funny. So after this, then he did what I asked him to in the first place and opened a return, which is cool. But it's funny because in this message, he mentions going to Walmart and then giving them the item and not getting refunded for it. And it has the implication that he just left it with them. But anyway, it's funny. Because now what's going to happen is here's the return case, right? And I accept it. And then he sends back the item, and then I give him a refund as soon as I see that the label that I sent him has been used and the item's been picked up. I don't wait for it to be delivered. I just refund them as basically within a day of them dropping it off. And that usually works out pretty well because you are holding on to their money and you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? You want to give it back to them as soon as you can, as long as they've done the necessary steps because they bought an object in order to, fix that. And a lot of this is all about just knowing cases and how to get cases closed in your favor, because if a case is closed in your favor, it'll usually make you immune to feedback from the buyer. So if you can get an irate buyer or a buyer who's particularly picky or finicky to open a case against you and then close it in your favor, in this case, because they opened an item not received case, that was their mistake, honestly, because that gave me all the power. They should have just opened a return case in the first place, and then I would have just done what I'm doing now. But they basically did this first step that gave me the ability to just, I don't really have to, I could talk to a rep, and because the rep that I last talked to thought that he openly admitted that he didn't have the item anymore, he was like, well, if he opens a return case soon and I handle this, I'll just close it in your favor because he has nothing to return, right? But that's not entirely, that's insinuated by the message, but he doesn't directly say that. See, he says, it was shipped from Walmart with no packing papers. They did not give me a refund because when the order was scanned, it said 0 cash back. I expect a full cash refund from you with no returns for all the hassle I had to go through with this order. They're not completely irate. I sent them the wrong thing, so it's understandable. But they weren't nice to me, so